Morning, everybody. Don't you people greet back? How? It's indeed an honor for me to be in a room full of creative people. Now, I need to declare up front, I am no designer by trade. I'm no creative person by profession. But I do believe that design and creativity is intrinsic to all of us as well. So my topic today is visions for design democracy. Within my topic, I'm going to challenge you to take your thinking just a little bit further. If you all believe that creativity has the answer to all questions, I want you to ponder on the following thoughts. What if we have the power to redesign our roles as active citizens within a country full of so much possibility? And by all means, what do you think will happen if we all start thinking like designers and just apply that thinking in every single thing we do? However, before we even going to go in depth into that particular thought, it brings me to the third question, which is also very critical to my conversation with you today. And that is, what is design? And why is design important within this setup of TEDx? Now, just looking around the room, it's clear that we all come from different philosophical backgrounds, industries, thinking, cultural backgrounds. So I'm going to just try and cut a philosophical debate short. In my view, design over the past few years has made a massive paradigm shift. What we used to believe was the issue around aesthetics, beauty, commerce, that only serves a minute or minority of a population, has moved to become more inclusive, more democratic, more omnipresent. So do we understand that today, design sees aesthetics as intrinsic? It must be beautiful. But the higher order thinking that applies today around design is that it serves all of us. If we just take a look around ourselves in every single aspect of our lives, you pick up design from the chair you sit on, from the TV you watch, the bed you lay on, the car you drive, the porridge you buy your child. Design. So design is deeply concerned with people. It's about making things better. It's about bringing beauty and simplicity to chaos and complexity. It's ultimately, in my view, about seeing the world in a totally different light. And above all, it's easy. Why would I say it's easy? Because intrinsic to design is the need to do good, is the need to look at the human nature and to make it better. So all of us sitting in this room today, if you think your job is around the pink line in the pillow, the red dot on the black font, you've missed the plot. Design, its higher purpose is, how can I effect change with what it is that I have intrinsically to me? So we all can come to the agreement that we're all designers, am I right? Am I right? Yes. It will become a problem if we sit here and what grounds us is not the intrinsic need to do good. Then it becomes problematic. So the Design Institute, which is the national design promotions body of South Africa and the only one on the continent, since I've joined, we've re-looked at what is our purpose in this country, having been in existence for 43 years. And the key aspect that we said we need to effect is to bring about socio-economic change, is to become catalysts to drive change within our country, is to be able to empower people and educate them to be able to change their own worlds, to be able to get people to the understanding that I have the ability to democratize my world. Because the concept of democracy is relative. What applies to you does not apply to me. And the only person that can bring meaning to designing my setting is me. And it's you. The time, ladies and gentlemen, has come for us to start asking different questions. Nearly 20 years down the line of democracy, we experience social ills that became more apparent. Poverty, crime against our children, unemployment. It does not disappear. So maybe the answer lies within our thinking of becoming designers. And hence it becomes important that we take a look at the key questions that I asked you earlier on. What if you have the power to redesign your role as an active citizen within a country full of so many possibilities? And what do we think will happen if we all start thinking and acting like designers and apply that thinking and approach in all of it is that we are doing? So ultimately, you might ask me, so how do you think this thing will happen? Design is a process of co-creation. Designers listen, they create, they deliver value. So if that is the value chain that we need to start applying, it can only happen through shared knowledge, and it can only happen through co-creation, which ties me back to the concept that democracy is relative. Because what it then implies, at the end of the day, it is created for me, by me. That is what design drives us to look at. Now, the Design Institute has taken it upon ourselves to try and test this particular approach. And I'm going to give you one or two examples. The one is the ICSID Interdesign on Sustainable Rural Transport. So the problem that emerged within the Northwest is that people started complaining that they do not have access to safe or easy or cheap transport. And we've realized that within that particular community, that the donkey cart is actually the preferred way of getting along. And we've looked at the concept of interdesign. What interdesign implies is that it takes a problem that's of global significance and it fosters us to come up with innovative solutions at the end of the day. And it's a co-creation process where designers and students come into the community and work with them to come up with a solution for them at the end of the day. Now, true as engineers are, as you do the preliminary assessment, the first thing that they say is the SABS must write a standard to make donkey carts safe. So, yeah, we take it. It's fine, good and well, sharp standard it will be. But as designers start stepping into the room and start applying design thinking, you start realizing that this donkey cart is but a needle in the haystack. What we did not realize is that due to these conditions that's been elevated through the donkey cart issue, people were marginalized from education opportunities. They were cut off from the economic mainstream. They did not have access to social services. And at the end of the day, we just permeated the cycle of poverty within the Northwest. So you would then realize that whilst the standard was one of the outcomes, there were a list of outcomes that had to address all of the symptoms of the issue of unsafe local transport. So that is what design thinking brings, systems thinking. What would be the impact of this on such? And how would we ensure that we take an holistic view on a system and fix the system in totality, not an element within the system alone? So needless to say, these things are published. There's been many prototypes, different forms of transport that came out, information systems for the Northwest area and that particular communities. Second one, very interesting, I love this one, and this is some work that we've done this year. Out of the shadows, redesigning the African traditional medicine industry. So now we all can sit here, and I am telling you that 1 in every 3 people have access to this industry or are utilizing this industry, because 36 million people in South Africa utilizes this industry. The problem that we realized within this particular industry is that even though there's such a high economic or GDP potential, the players within the system does not understand each other. There is confusion in the system. We are working with an industry that has global relevance or global reach. At the end of the day, on the left-hand side, you will see a myriad of problems that came out of it. And what the design thinking process then did was to start simplifying these problems so that we can start zoning in and start clustering these problems and start resolving them. And the biggest realization was that whilst many people thought they were doing good, they were actually cannibalizing each other. And that is one of the problems that we sit with in our country. Many approaches towards resolution, but once I focus on the me, it becomes a cannibalistic approach, and it becomes destructive. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, an industry that is uncovered with a 27 billion rand propensity that can contribute to our GDP. This work is not done, we're still busy working on this. We start looking at standards to make sure that this stuff is quality. You will see we started modernizing the tonality, look and feel of what these products are that sits within our traditional medicine space. The next very critical aspect is something that we've taken upon ourselves in South Africa, and not just South Africa though, but across the world. Within the space of innovation, we start realizing that somewhere there's a chasm. So what a chasm implies is that money goes into one leg, results does not come out on the other side. So if we just take a look at the National System of Innovation alone, billions of rand in research and development. Problem is it does not manifest into tangible products or economic equity within the market fast enough. And I was told that common sense is not normally common sense. So you will see that the middle block, that process behind, is what we've designed to make sure that we take an idea straight through to the concept where, or the stage where it adds value. And the middle block is where design plays, where you take research and development and you convert it into intelligence that can be translated into a tangible product that can serve a particular need, that can create socio-economic value at the end of the day. So if what you are busy with does not create real value, we have a problem, because then you form part of this chasm. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you can relate to the concept of a chasm. Local service delivery. Why is there a gap between policy and execution? And the person that needs the service to be executed sits in the middle, does not know where to access. So this particular process of design thinking is what we start bringing to many systems, processes, services, as well as the National System of Innovation within South Africa. So what we are trying to get people to do is to look at research for development, not research and development. If the intent is for us to fill up archives of knowledge, bravo, we've done it. But my generation that comes after me need to have an economy that is sustainable. So we better start producing. And that is what design thinking brings to the table. So the challenge I put up to you today is, once you've heard that design has a higher order purpose, once you've heard that you can redesign your role, that you can redesign your world, we have a process or a project that we've gone into partnerships with many designers, and we've taken a look at the next year where we have 20 years of democracy. And we want to test the concept of ideas that centers around nation building, creating social value, getting our people from spaces of anger to where they can utilize that energy to create growth, and where they can come to the realization that if I do not redesign my world, nobody will do it for me. So the 2020 project has started already on 10 October. And you will see in your information pack that we actually want you to become part of this movement. We want you to look at your specific spaces and look at what ideas are there for me to better this particular environment. What ideas are there where I can create beauty and simplicity out of complexity and chaos? Start asking the questions, what's the need? And what if? That is what a designer does. It's not, it's fine, I'm fine here. It's a matter of just what if? What if I do this that way? What would be the outcome? That is when you become inquisitive. And that is when you start showing interest in showing the relevance of redesigning your world. So I want to stop with the question of, are you ready to design a better South Africa? Not for me, for you. It starts with you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.